Well, we've experienced a global pandemic, we've witnessed great strides towards diversity and inclusion, and we've also seen many organizations move towards justice and equality. From an organizational perspective, we have seen women leading in many different roles coming out of this pandemic. In fact, women have been at the helm of organizations making decisions about COVID-19 responses. Why is this? Organizations are realizing without diversity, we don't have innovative conflict. And without innovative conflict, we can't have productive solutions for both internal and external customers that we serve. We have made great strides in this area, but the reality is that our U.S. workforce is made up of 54% of women, but only 8% of those are holding executive leadership roles in some of our Fortune 500 companies. Although there are many external factors that impact this, what I want to talk to you about today is a common theme that I hear with women that I coach on a regular basis. That common theme is fear. It's fear of perceptions. It's fear of taking risks. It's fear of speaking up when you're the first and the only or you're outnumbered in the room. Leader efficacy is a skill that we all can develop. Leader efficacy can be defined as the level of confidence one possesses in the knowledge, skills, and abilities associated with leading others. So today I want to talk about 4 ways that you can build your own leader efficacy. So first, be you. Know your worth. Yes, you are a woman leader, but you're also a leader who brings skills and gifts and talents and different perspectives. And so take some time to invest in yourself and empower yourself in the skills that you have and you possess. And a couple of ways you can do that. You can take an assessment of your skills, find out what you're made of, find out what you're good at. Another way that you can do this is ask the people who are close to you, what am I good at? What do you see that I offer to this organization? And find opportunities where you can use your skills. Join a board of a nonprofit, join a community group in your neighborhood. And then also invest in a coach, a mentor, someone who can pour into you and create a space for you to ask questions and develop your skills. Next, advocate for you. You know, you bring a perspective, and sometimes that's a different perspective. So I just want to remind you in this is that even a different perspective is helpful to transformation and innovation in organizations. So lean into having a different viewpoint, lean into difficult conversations, share and speak up for yourself. And there are some ways that you can be proactive for advocating for you. Schedule the meeting. Don't wait for the invite, create the invite. If you have opportunities or discussions that you need to have with those that you work with or serve, you take the initiative and set up those times to discuss and meet with those that you're serving. And then another thing that you can do is create your own personal and professional targets. We often wait for our leadership to give us goals. We often wait for others to validate what we're doing. But you have all the power in you to create your own goals, create your own targets, and then measure your own success. So now we'll talk about managing you. You know, you can't manage the perceptions that others have about you, but you can manage your response. You know, I love what Eleanor Roosevelt said. She said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Leadership comes with challenges for all people. And oftentimes there will be moments where you will need to lean into some really difficult conversations. There also may be moments where there were people who may not see you for who you really are. That is common for all leaders. But one way that you can navigate that is to lean into those conversations. Have those difficult times where you can really express how you feel, and so that you're building relationships with people so that they get to know you and not a perception of who they think you are. And then the other way that you can really help yourself kind of narrow the perceptions that may be put on you is to find some allies, both men and women, who can pour into you, who can encourage you, but who can also speak truth into your life. And lastly, be the you wish you had. I don't know about you, but I remember the leaders in my life who made an impact in a positive way, and also the ones who made an impact in a negative way. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Are your goals targeted towards serving the least of these and those that are around you? And if you're hearing this and you saying, I don't really have anyone that is modeling the kind of leadership that I'm looking for, find one. Find the leaders in your life that can pour into you or that you can model and emulate in your own organization. Grab coffee with them. Send the LinkedIn message. Bump into them in the lobby of your church. But take the initiative to find those leaders that can model what you're looking for in your own leadership journey. I heard a quote that said, if you can't find a good role model, be one. Here are some tips to support the women in your organization. First, silence doesn't always mean agreement. And one of the things that I've learned is just to always be curious as a leader. So when you see those moments where the leaders in the room are quiet, ask questions, engage with them, bring them into the conversation, solicit their feedback. Look for ways that you can engage and include them in the conversation at the table. Also, value the perspective that women bring in your organization, even if it makes you a little uncomfortable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. And so sometimes we need to lean into even the moments where it's a little bit more uncomfortable because the perspectives are fresh and new and different. So lean into that and be an advocate and be a disruptor. When you hear that women are not being perceived in a light that truly represents who they are, speak up for them. Advocate for them when they're in the room and when they're not in the room. Lastly, organizations can be really intentional about developing the women in their leadership and in their organizations. There's lots of ways that we can do that. We can hire more women. We can create leadership programs that are led and developed by women and supported by our male allies. We can also use resources that are written by women, developed by women, and researched by women. All in all, we have so many opportunities for innovation by including women in the conversation. So how are you supporting and developing the women in your life? As leaders, as organizations, we have this beautiful opportunity to lean into the uncomfortable, to support the women in our life in helping them to live out fully and boldly with confidence the calling that God has placed on their life. We are better together. Thanks for watching.